Hey out there, this is the top 3 soft stick baits. Obviously this is opinion based, but I think I have a pretty good opinion. I get a lot of good data where I'm at, and I get to see kind of what people are buying and talk to a lot of really good anglers. I even get out and fish every once in a while myself. So I think I have an educated opinion on this. But certainly, if you feel differently, make sure in the comments you let us know some of the things that you think, some of the stick baits that you think are one of the top 3 out there. So, to me, no question, without a doubt, hands down, the most popular and probably the most bass catching soft plastic of all time is the Gary Yamamoto Senko. The Gary Yamamoto Senko is a staple in every bass fisherman's boat from the north part of the country where we are here in Minnesota to the bottom of Florida to the corner of the West Coast, to both corners of the West Coast for that matter. The Yamamoto Senko catches bass, and it is the simplest one to fish. And the reason why I think this one outshines all the rest in popularity around the country and in every different scenario, water, temperature, season, all that kind of stuff, is because these have the best sink rate and fall rate of any soft plastic on the market, in my opinion, when rigged weightless. So if you want a really finesse presentation with light line, you just want to stick a hook in the plastic like you're fishing an old school live night crawler almost, and throw it out there and let it sink, this thing catches them. And that's because these are loaded full of salt and sand. And the sand in itself is a lot different than a lot of the other soft plastics out there, because Gary Yamamoto's got a very unique pouring process to that, and it makes these really heavy, and they sink and they flutter on their way down. Even in wind, you can fish them weightless, which is a big advantage over its competitors out there. So that's why I have the Yamamoto Senko as one of the top 3. Next up, the old Yumdinger. The Yumdinger here is a super popular version of the soft plastic stick bait, and volume wise is probably the closest to that, to the Yamamoto Senko. And that's because its price, its value is unbelievable. These come in at killer prices, and if you're on a hot bite and you're burning through baits like crazy, these can save you a lot of money, and they do catch them. Believe it or not, I think these things get held on to just as long as the Senko does. The only disadvantage I find to them is that they don't sink super fast like the Yamamoto Senko does. So these ones here are a little bit friendlier though when you're rigging them with other ways than weightless, because they're more durable than the competitors out there. I can stick a jig head in it like this here, and what we call a jig worm up here in Minnesota, or a shaky head if you're down south, a Ned rig application, drop shot, Nico rig, all those different styles of rigging a worm. This thing shines at because it's very, very durable. Like I said, if I'm fishing weightless, I think the Yamamoto Senko's king, but if you're rigging it up, it's hard to beat the value of the Yumdinger. Now last, but certainly not least, is going to be the X-Zone True Center Stick. This is the new kid on the block to all these other stick baits I was just talking about, and this one here has found a home in my boat. And the reason being, it's kind of the perfect mix of the other two. This one actually does have a pretty decent fall rate being rigged weightless. If it's not super windy out, I think that's where the Senko still shine. But when there's not a ton of wind out there and you want to throw this on a weightless presentation, this thing sinks absolutely fantastically. And the way they designed this worm, there's actually a section here for you to hook that balances it perfectly so you get the perfect fall rate every single time. It's also very durable. So you can actually rig it all the different ways. I like to rig soft plastic stick bait, which adds weight to the bait, and I don't lose that durability that you lose with the Senko that you get with like a Yumdinger, for example. It's a little bit more money than the Yumdinger. It falls in between the other two, so it really is, in all senses of the world, kind of right in the middle of the other two. So you can do just about anything you want to do with this one, just like the other two, and get away with just buying one soft plastic stick bait. So if you're looking for the top 3 out there and you want to go with the best one, in my opinion, for fishing weightless, Yamamoto Senko. Best one for being rigged and saving you money, that's going to be the Yumdinger. If you want the best of both worlds, I would check out this True Center Stick. You might be surprised.